Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Noob Wrestling. I'm your host, Nick. Friday Night Smackdown. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Noob Wrestling!
First matchup was Jade versus Alexa Bliss. This was a very interesting fight. I think it's a pretty cool matchup between absolute super powerhouse like Jade versus someone that's established, cool, and as popular as Alexa Bliss. I kind of figured that Jade would probably win. I thought there was a chance that maybe Alexa Bliss could win this match, just using her brain and maybe getting lucky or somehow able to pull it off. Just because Jade is absolutely such an absolutely physical specimen. I mean, she is absolutely shredded. I mean, she is jacked. When she sits there and flexes her arms, it's almost embarrassing. I'm almost embarrassed because she's bigger than me. I mean, she's just so defined, and not to go on like a whole little like rant, but I mean, she is absolutely just chiseled. That being said, Alexa Bliss ended up losing. I think one of the funnier parts of the entire match was Jade actually picked up Alexa Bliss and slammed her over the barricade, and there was like a bald security man sitting there, and he got elbowed right in the back of the head, which I ended up turning to the wife like, yo, did you see this security guy? He just got smoked. One of the other random things that really stood out was Jade's outfit. She wore like a neon pink purple attire that really popped. I don't know if it was the way the lights were shining on it, but it really stood out, almost like something that would pop out when you use like a black light. It was very shiny, very, very wow, very in your face. But again, ended up that Alexa Bliss did lose, and then she gets slammed by Jade onto her face onto a steel chair. So that wrapped up the first one. Again, it's kind of how I thought it would go. Jade, and then everyone else comes running out. They had a little face-off, kind of building the hype for the Rhea Ripley versus Jade rematch in Clash of Italy. It also seems like the Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn feud is starting to heat up as well. I don't know what Sammy's doing. He kind of comes off as a massive douchebag. It's just always, I'm trying to help you. He's just always seems really upset all the time. Almost like kind of like an Anakin Skywalker in the sense, like really whiny, feeling like he's not getting what he's owed. But the crowd still seems to like him. When he came out, the crowd was still pretty excited to see him. I find it funny how Sami Zayn always plays the victim when he's feuding with anyone, Cody Rhodes, anyone, just like he's the only good guy left. Meanwhile, he walked out on Cody Rhodes the other day when he was getting his ass beat, and sits there and tells Cody Rhodes that, oh, I did that for you to, help you out so you understand. Which you don't do that to my boy Cody Rhodes. That was pretty cold of him as he's getting choked out by Gunther. Sammy walks by, kind of takes a look in the ring, and lets Cody just take the ass whooping. So, Sami Zayn, you're not in my good graces at this moment. That leads into the next thing, which was the Nick Aldis and Danhausen skit, which is hilarious. He's sitting there talking to Danhausen. Danhausen then walks away. Then Nick Aldis is talking to The Miz, and in the background you see Danhausen just picking random things up from the hallway and walking into a side room with them. I'm talking like really random stuff. The part where me and the wife ended up crying laughing is when you see Danhausen walk over to a pile of junk, pick something up, and then brings it into the room, and it's a microwave. He had a microwave, an old TV, and he's doing this all in the background as The Miz and Nick Aldis are sitting there talking about matchups and stuff like that. I didn't even hear what was really going on. I was too busy just watching and laughing at Danhausen in the background. The big takeaway here is, though, then the lights flicker, kind of hinting that Danhausen's up to something in his little science experiments that he's been doing. Moving on to the next thing, there was a rumor that Jacob Fatu was hurt from a dark match done the other night with Solo Sikoa. If this is true, I just don't understand why WWE keeps having their stars that are main eventing in some of these big showdowns in like Clash of Italy. Why are you even having them in the ring day or two before? Don't you kind of want to protect your product and your brand? Again, I wasn't able to 100% confirm this, but it seemed like a lot of reliable sources that I follow were posting this, saying that he was limping. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out. I hope Jacob Fatu's okay, because I want to see Jacob Fatu win. Moving on, the Axiom versus The Miz. This was pretty cool. The one question I really have is Axiom a luchador? I looked online and everyone goes back and forth whether he is or isn't. This was in their hometown, his hometown rather, versus The Miz, and that was a pretty good fight. Axiom's really athletic. The Miz just does such a great job selling. The lights were flickering. Again, Danhausen sitting there plugging something into the outlets, causing the lights to flicker, which ultimately led to Axiom beating The Miz and being able to walk away the victor in that match. This led to a funny backstage moment where Sami Zayn's talking to Joey Gargano, who's planking on like the platform of a step in a breezeway area. Talking about how he's the only real good guy left and how no one understands him, but Gargano understands him. Then Matt Cardona comes out. They start beefing with Sami Zayn. Sits there, starts talking some smack. Sami Zayn starts talking some smack, which leads to them having a matchup this evening, or rather last night, to kind of hash that out. Kind of seemed more like a filler thing than anything, but Sami Zayn does a good job selling everything he really does backstage on the mic. He's very compelling. A lot of the fans really like him, and right now he's like in a weird spot where he's playing this selfish little like whiny Anakin Skywalker style character. The next matchup was supposed to be a tag team matchup, but of course R-Truth is injured, so Damian Priest was sitting there willing to go out by himself, and R-Truth said he had someone that could spot fill for him. In the meantime, being Royce Keys. Royce Keys won the Andre the Giant Award in the Battle Royal. There were some tensions between Damian Priest and Royce Keys, which made this very interesting. R-Truth was able to basically call him out as scaredy cats, not wanting to face the MFTs, and they ended up agreeing to the match and being able to work with each other. I thought that there was a good chance that maybe there was some distrust there that was going to lead to them losing. So when that match ends up starting, it is Damian Priest, Royce Keys versus Tama and Talatanga. They are just huge. They're just absolutely big dudes. That one guy's a giant. I mean, R-Truth, not R-Truth, but Damian Priest is a big guy. And this guy's got a whole nother head taller than him. Hard-hitting fight. It could really have gone either way, but then R-Truth comes out to try and tip the scales in their favor and ends up getting his butt beat yet again, costing them the match. I'm wondering, is this going to cause any tension between Damian Priest and R-Truth, seeing how this is the second time I think R-Truth has come out to try and help and ended up costing them the match. The next match was Sami Zayn versus Matt Cardona. This again was another really good matchup. A lot of really good moves, very high energy. Sami Zayn always comes in as a ball of fire. Again, he does a great job selling for Matt. Matt does a great job selling for Sami. Back and forth. I really didn't know how this one could possibly work out, just because, again, it kind of seemed more like a filler match just to kind of fill a spot. But the matchup I thought was fairly fair, and I really had no idea how that was going to work and turn out. But in the end, Sami Zayn hits him with a high kick, taking him out, and ends up ultimately winning that match as well. I think the place booed pretty loud when he did, and Sami Zayn ends up walking away the victor. A really good one I was really looking forward to was Carmelo Hayes versus Ricky Saints. I got to see Ricky Saints at NXT wrestle. Guy's really good. He's really good on the mic, and I just really like Carmelo Hayes' athleticism, his character, and how he presents himself and his character. So that was really interesting. Again, this is yet another one. I wasn't quite sure how this one was going to pan out. Some of my favorite matches, honestly, is Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes. It's just always so hard-hitting. The chops are super loud when they wrestle. This was very similar in that regards. A lot of loud chops, a lot of loud everything. Carmelo did this really cool move where he jumped off the bottom rope and kind of like speared himself through the air. This match was going on, back and forth. It could have been anyone's match, but then Trick Williams comes out, distracts him, and they end up double counting out, so no one ended up winning that match. That leads us into Chelsea Green and Nia Jax. The unathletic Nia Jax comes out trying to sit there and pull off a W from Chelsea Green, who just got back from being hurt. Chelsea Green was wearing a really nice mint green outfit. She did her whole salute entrance. It was really nice to see her back in action. Nia Jax does her same two moves, and ultimately Chelsea Green ends up pulling off the W. Again, not a whole lot in that match, unfortunately, because Nia Jax really can't do a whole lot. So it was a pretty easy match for Chelsea Green to kind of ease her way back into things. She ends up winning that match because Tiffany Stratton comes out and gives a little helping hand. And I think their dynamic's hilarious. I think it's funny how Chelsea Green's basically crushing on Tiffany, and Tiffany's just like not having it. That's too deep, bro, or whatever she says. I think it's absolutely hilarious. It should be very interesting to see how that works out. Tag teams, I think that would actually make a really good tag team. I think their dynamic's kind of similar to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. It's just really, really fun. It's just really funny how Chelsea Green just seems to always be crushing on Tiffany Stratton. Like, oh, we're friends, let's go do this. And Tiffany's just like, oh, it's not that deep. Really, really funny stuff there. But I was happy to see Chelsea Green win. I was happy to see her back. And I was really happy to see Tiffany Stratton was able to come in and help give her the edge to get that win over Nia Jax. Then there was the big face-off signing of the contracts between Gunther and Cody Rhodes. And what I thought was really interesting about this one was Gunther basically mocking Cody Rhodes and saying how selfish he is, how greedy he is. And I really found it interesting how Cody Rhodes kind of flipped the script on that and said, you're telling me, Gunther, you wouldn't want the fame, you wouldn't want the promos, you wouldn't want to be the main event, you wouldn't want to be all over the posters, and then basically just kind of admitting that that's part of the reason why Cody Rhodes wins and wrestles as hard as he does, because he's driven by that. He wants those things, even despite his perfect pretty boy persona. I thought that was a very interesting dynamic, and he really got Gunther upset. He basically then told Gunther to his face that he's really not that guy and he's not that good. And then Gunther ended up going down the list of everyone he retired: AJ Styles, John Cena. Gunther's scary. They've made Gunther very scary. The way he stands there, the way he's delivering his promos. They make him very villainous and a very, very, very legitimate threat, which I think is hard to do when you get someone with the aura and the status of Cody Rhodes. Like, who can you have that's actually a threat and that's actually like a realistic person that could actually dethrone Cody Rhodes? I think they've done an excellent job with Gunther in that regards. Gunther is very scary. He's very real. And there's a really real shot that Gunther could win. Either way, the Gunther promo with Cody Rhodes, I thought that was excellent. I think it was better than some of the stuff Roman Reigns has done recently as far as promos. I'm very excited for it. I'm scared. Cody Rhodes is my favorite wrestler of all time, and I think there's a really high chance that Gunther ends up pulling this off. And that wraps up this video, guys, for the Friday Night Smackdown recap. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. We're almost at 200 subscribers, so if you could share this video, like this video, and leave a comment, I would appreciate that so much. We got some really big things coming down the line when it comes to the podcast. We got Mr. Kennedy coming on the show with some more surprises around every corner. We got some really awesome things coming, and until next time, I'll see you later.
Heavy at the wood chop, hop, hop, heavy at the wood chop, hop, hop, heavy at the wood chop, hop, hop, turn me up, no wrestling, we crash the ring, hit so hard, make the whole crow sing, fly off top, yeah, we bring that pain, no gang here, we don't play no game, boom, 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 like, subscribe, hit that bell right now, we done a wave, and we run this town, thanks for watching, we'll see you again, no bristle on me.